Welcome back to Danny Rants. This week I have a very special guest. Like every week I've got a special guest. Sitting across from me is a viral sensation, a DJ, and an R&B Australian superstar, Mistah Cee. How are you, man?
Cool, brother.
How are you, my man? Probably is a better way to say it.
Man, I'm sensational, bro. I was saying, like, as we was cruising in here, man, my energy was like super low. So I just like spent the whole day like cleaning and saging and just like making my area of zen just like super calm. So now I'm like, bro, I gotta like pep it up a bit. But yeah, I'm sweet, bro.
I love that.
Good. Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm obviously in Sydney. I'm doing some back-to-backs, getting some Sydney culture into the pod, educate some people about what's going on up here.
That's it.
And obviously when we talk about, especially the R&B scene or fucking hip-hop scene in Australia in the last sort of 5 to 6 years, you're probably the leader of that. Like, you know, we had this kind of emergence in 2018 of Australian drill rap and hip hop. Not that you're connected to it, but you were by far one of the voices of that and one of the guys that heroed that, right? So let's wind it all the way back, right? Let's go all the way to the beginning. How do you get into DJing in the first place?
Man, 2005. The end of 2005. How did I get into it? Like, that's a while ago. I was always influenced, man. It's my father. My dad was a musician. He played congas, goombas, bongos, timbales, and he was a stand-up comedian as well. So he was always involved in the arts and that. And he was from the States, but when he came to Australia, that's what he was getting into. And I was exposed to it, and being exposed to all this music, but going through Newtown in the 90s and King's Cross and Redfern and seeing like just Sydney at that time, I was like, somewhere along the ways, DJing came along, and I was like, I want to do that. So yeah, when he passed away, he left me like a little bit of money, like $2,000, and my mum didn't allow me to spend it until I hit like, I think it was 15, 16. And then I was like, please, I'll pay you back. And she's like, I spent that money on bills. And I was like, can you just get it for, like, I was like, please, like this. And then, yeah, man, she got it. And then I started getting into DJing. I was influenced by Tickles, Peter Guns, DJ Motto, like Sydney, the OG DJs of Sydney that like got rich off mixtapes back in the early 2000s. And that was the stuff that was at high school. Everyone was listening to DJ mixes. And I was like, this is so powerful. Like, you can control a room by the songs that you select, you know? You can control moods. You can make people fall in love, like you can start fights, like there's a lot of power to music. And if you are the controller, you can mold and shape things and people. It's actually kind of crazy, but yeah. It's
a cool thing, like when you talk about the moods and stuff, it's so true, right? Like it goes to the point where you talk about 2018 again, like music starts and people become actually physically afraid of it. Like, so there's styles of, you can make people fall in love, you can make people cry, but at the same time, you can make people afraid with music. And when you talk about like the roots of hip hop and rap and drill and all this sort of stuff, that's probably one of the music genres that's had the most fucking controversy in the sense, because people do get scared of it. Like, you know, governments and people that don't understand it.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I don't think it should be like that at all.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense really, eh?
Yeah, no. Like, bro, at the end of it, it's people are expressing themselves, but at the same time, I do understand, like, yeah, if your tongue is a sword, like, and that's, you know, when you're speaking doom, gloom, death and destruction all the time, 24/7, like, you will become that, and then your world will become that. So it's like a lot of the music I listen to in my personal time now, other than when I'm DJing, it's not even the stuff I DJ with. When I'm playing to the masses, I'm like listening to like classical, calm, or I'm listening to some really positive, like a rapper, Larry June. He's like, that's the go-to. He's always talking about like invest your money and like be smart about things, like take care of your health, you know, like more conscious, but still like kind of player. But yeah, like that's my go-to, bro.
What's the first X that you buy when you get this money from your mum? Like, what do you invest in?
Oh, I had the option. I went in there with her, and she took out a small loan to, like, cause I was begging her, man. I was like, please, what happened to that $2,000? And she's like, I spent it on bills. I told you, like, I can't. Like, that was 3 years ago, you know. So we went in, and I had the option. We were at Light Sounds in Darlinghurst. I'll never forget it. And old mate was like, do you want to be a real DJ or a fake DJ? I was like, huh? And I was, bro, so unaware of like DJ culture. I had no idea. And he's like, look, real DJs play on turntables and fake DJs play on CDJs. And I was like, oh, I'll do turntables. And so it was like American audio. And like that mindset back then when he said that, unfortunately, like that's a whole nother topic in itself where like DJs are like, oh, I'm a real, this. And I no longer believe that that's the case. If you have 2 iPods or 2 tape decks and you know how to rock a crowd, it doesn't matter what equipment you're using. But yeah, the first equipment I ever got was turntables. It was American audio. And then I sold them for some Technics. Yeah.
So where exactly did you grow up?
In Maroubra. So born and raised in the Bra. Yeah, man. Bro. Just, South Sydney. Yeah.
So how was that, man? Growing up in Maroubra, like, you say that name, automatically people have a connotation. Everyone knows it. It's synonymous with kind of violence and I guess like low socioeconomic when it comes to Australia and the way of living. Like how was it growing up there? And how did that influence you to become a hip hop DJ?
My experience there was, I think everyone's experience there is unique. I mean, obviously, man, because we're all like unique in ourselves. But my unique experience was my father being African American and my mother being like white Australian. Having my dad around, he's in Maroubra in the 80s, in the 90s, and he's like fresh from the States. He's got 2 boys, and he's like, the beach. He's like, nah, I don't go to the beach. He's like, man, brothers don't swim. Like he would say to us, like, black folks don't do that. Like, no, like we go and play basketball. So you take what you fed from your dad and okay, we'll just go play basketball. So I just didn't go to the beach. But I went and found trouble elsewhere as I grew up there. In surrounding suburbs, there was like Hillsdale, East Lakes, Botany, Mascot, all different areas and different cliques. And the experience of being from Maroubra was, like me and my brother were mixed, and a lot of the indigenous kids, Tongans, Samoans, Assyrian, Turkish, and like any other nasha that was like Aussie, they were kicking it in like Hillsdale, East Lakes, like other suburbs. So I befriended my Latino, Chilean, Colombian, Tongan, Samoan, indigenous brothers. And I would just kick it over there. And so, coming from Maroubra, like when the whole 2005 Cronulla riots happened, it was like I was hanging with kids at Hillsdale, and a lot of them were Assyrian, they were Turkish, and they had beef with, it was like the silliest time. If you remember that time, man.
Oh, dude, I remember it for sure.
Bro, it's crazy time. And I remember catching buses and boys would just beef just off race, this Aussie and da-da-da. And here I am, I'm like, it's white as snow, but like they know my dad is black and my brother is black. So they're like, he gets a pass, he kicks it with the boys here. So there was a bit of back and forth, but I never got into any shit, man. Like I never really, during that time.
I never really thought about it, hey, because when I think of Maroubra and I think of like crime, I think of like rough gangs, whatever, but you're talking from a multicultural level. It's like, really it was Aussies, like when you think of that area. So I never really thought about being someone that doesn't really represent with what was going on. Like there was this gang culture, this rough culture, but it was this fucking like, what's the word? Tribalist surf culture. And being like a half mixed guy and then culture, I've never actually thought about what that must have been like during that time.
Man, like Bra Boys and that, like I went to school with I think it's the 2nd or 3rd generation. I'd say the 2nd generation was, we all went to school, like a couple of boys from there, and then they ended up becoming Bra Boys, and I'm still cool with them to this day. I'll see them, I'm like, bro, it's all love. But I didn't kick it at the beach, so I'm sure if I like kicked it there and hung there and you put in the years there and then you become it. But my dad was like telling me, he's like, what's the beach? Like, let's just go play basketball. Like, and my mom as well, she's like, don't get involved in the dramas here. My auntie my great auntie lived in the heart of Lexo, which is South Maroubra, is all the housing commissions. Like she was like right on the corner of Midway Drive next to the Lexington Place for like 30 years. And like we'd pull up at her house and it was crazy. Like my mom was like, stay in the car, don't get out of the car. And there'd be like a burning car in the middle of the field and like oh man, I forget the name of the park. But yeah, there'd be like a burning car and then there'd be like junkies walking around and it was just, yeah, it was different, man. I had recently, last week I went to a funeral and it was crazy, bro. It was like a whole like 360, if you will. Like I hadn't been back to that area in so long. And she was a family friend, 3 sisters and a grandma. And my mum was cool with the grandma, Indigenous family. And they was, bro, on hard times. My mum was as well, but she had a little bit extra and we would go to their house and get like a hamper of food and stack it up and see, see the kids when all the kids were the same age. So as time went, we all went to high school and then my mum would tell me, like you'll see your friends go to jail, get on drugs and you might see them pass away. But these are the things of life, hanging around these certain areas. And so music was that one thing that like brought me back where I was like, nah, I'm just DJ, bro. Fuck this. I don't want to be around this, Even though I did veer off the tracks a little bit, I kept coming back to DJing no matter what. And it was crazy. I went to a funeral last week and I was just seeing so many faces, so many heads, bro, from from Maroubra, from that whole area where I was just like, man, it's like, when you're young, you never think you're going to be older. And then you get older and then you're at funerals and you're just seeing different walks of life and the choices people made.
100% is like a T intersection, hey? Like you're looking and going, fuck, if I took that step, I could have been here instead of here. It's the same as me, bro. Like where I grew up in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like same sort of, not Maroubra, but it was the same sort of upbringing. And I look at all the time, there's decisions that I made where, I didn't get caught for things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, if I got pegged for that.
You got done, bro. Like,
I would have changed my whole trajectory of my life.
Yeah.
Back onto music, bud.
Yeah, man. Oh.
So you're playing, you're DJing in Maroubra. What are some of your first gigs that you're playing?
First gig was at a parking lot in the back of Alexandria. Actually, around here, bro. Wait. No. What's that suburb? Kingsford, bro. Kingsford, my bad. I've played around here, but not, it was in like an industrial, like tiny little section of Kingsford. And yeah, man, it was just up the road from Maroubra. That was the first kind of gigs. And then we used to play Hillsdale. Hillsdale was like right next to Maroubra. And we'd have the housing, like in the housing commission, we'd be in the like apartments and just play, bro. Like cops would come, shut it down, then we would wait and then keep going. It was crazy, bro. Like it was mad times, but yeah, like any other come up, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Fuck yeah, house parties, but.
Yeah, house parties, bro. Kids don't know, bro. His phones have made everything a lot easier, but at the same time, it's like, I think it's created like a social, like people are awkward. Like kids, I see kids now and they're like mad awkward. Like we didn't have phones, so if we saw a girl, we wanted to dance, we'd like grab the girl, yeah, man, come on, like this, and then we dance and vibe and stuff. And there was no like hide behind your phone, kind of like, oh my God. And then there's like, he's filming me or I'm embarrassed or she's filming her. You know what I'm saying?
100% I do. I think about it all the time. Like you used to be like a mess, fucking doing whatever you wanted to do basically, and you could get away with so much more.
Yeah, bro.
And then now it's like anytime you did do something bad, someone can film it and fuck your whole life up, right?
Yeah, bro.
So you then no doubt start to play in the clubs and stuff like that. Like how's the transition from house parties into hip hop, and what did the scene look like when you first got into it, and what were some of the clubs you were playing?
Bro, I was, first couple of clubs was like Privilege Bar, like in George Street in the city, Hunter Bar on Hunter Street, Veranda Bar, City RSL, playing, DJ Tickles. Do you know Tickles?
No, I don't know of him now.
DJ Tickles is like a legend in the scene. It's like in terms of like the Islander community. He made a lot of the Fresh Off the Boat mixes, which was like a series of a mixtape that it went viral before the internet type thing. And yeah, man, it was like in the streets. It was like burn one, burn a CD for another CD for another CD, copy of a copy of a copy. And yeah, man, he came. So he had a huge following in the Islander community. So the first kind of clubs, I was a huge fan of Tickles. So I would see him at the record store when I'd skip school. And I'd just wait around. I'm like, oh man, Tickles is there, Peter Guns is there. I'd run up, hey man, introduce myself. And then they put me on to, all right, kid, we'll give you a shot. And then I'd come through, play opening set, and then I would just hang around. I was like the only Aussie mixed African-American kid in an all Tongan and Samoan nightclub, over 18s. And I was like seeing like crazy punch-ons and I was like, this is crazy. I was like, bro, it was way different from house parties, but just on a bigger scale because it was like a lot of people from West, like West Sydney, a lot of people from Southwest, where I was coming from like the East, where I was still coming from like housing commission areas and stuff and regular kids, you know, but it was like, yeah, it was like foreign, but I was familiar, you know?
I get you, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like one of those things, you talk about those crazy punch-ons, you talk about these insane things you saw at those clubs, no doubt, I reckon they were fucking out of control.
Yeah,
is there one that sort of sits on top of your head that you can tell me about?
Yes, 100%. I was playing and Nick, that was Tickles, he came up and he's like, don't play too much. Like, he's like, don't play too much of, you know, one, like just the Tongan tracks, you know? He's like, kind of like chuck in a Fijian one, then a Samoan one, then a Tongan one, then a Māori one, and then you know, back to the R&B. And then he's like, keep it, you know. I played the song. And I don't know if, I mean, look, this is controlling moods, this is controlling, but maybe there was who knows how the fight started. All I remember, there was a ocean of people. There was like a good 400, 500 people there. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, this is good. And then I seen like one little like jolt and then the whole crowd just shifted like that. And I'm like, oh. And then it shifted again and it was like, bah, 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 bah. And then the Seki like hit me and said, yo. He's like, turn on the lights, turn on, cut the music. I cut the music. They opened, then they broke up the fight. They turned it back on. And I jumped off. Next DJ came on. I walked to the elevator. And the guy, whoever started the fight, like I'm like fresh 18, bro. Like I had seen fights and stuff, but like I walked to the elevator in City RSL and maybe in not say City RS, but anyways, whatever. And I seen like there was a guy with a couple of like, he had like blood on his face and stuff. And the Sekis grabbed him and put him in the lift and they hit the emergency and it's like belted this dude, man. So like the doors come back open, he's like laying there, he's like this. I was just like, oh my God. Like that was like, I remember going home and then I told my mom, I was like, man, it's pretty crazy. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, darling, I'm like, man, I'm just there to DJ. I'll just kick it behind the booth. Like no one kind of messes with me. It's cool. I just keep to myself. But that's probably the most vivid memory when I was like fresh 18, seeing just bad punch-ons, man. Sydney was like, I feel like it, like maybe it happens. Yeah, it happens now, but I feel like it's back then, early 2000s, it was like a little bit more, they're like, yeah, let's let things go. Let's let people, you know? Like,
100%, man. Totally. Like there's no doubt about it. Like even myself as a fucking club owner,
yeah,
there'd be times where I'd be like, just let them sort it out. Like it gets bad, just pull it apart. And that was part of the reason when I had to quit because I used to like go, no, let's let it go for a bit. And I was like, when I started becoming like a guy who was watching it, I was like, I'm probably not cut out for the safety of the people that are coming here.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah.
It's like free UFC.
Yeah, man. Oh, bro. But yeah, I've seen some, I've seen a couple in my day, man. I had one time like old mate approached me and then he wanted to fight me like over the DJ booth and I avoided it. Then I walked outside and then I managed to bump into a friend and then the friend was like much older. This guy was much older and then he man, they punched on like on behalf of me. I probably shouldn't tell this story, bro, because he knows. And then every time I've brought it up, he's like, oh, he's a customer.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm living different now. And I'm like, okay, so I'll respect that. I just won't. Yeah, probably that bit I won't say, but.
I appreciate the teaser though.
Yeah.
So at the time you're playing these sort of, I guess, soft spots, openers and stuff like that. What were you doing for work? I'm guessing it wasn't full time at that point.
No way, bro. No way. I work at the time. For the first couple of years, it was just DJing because my mom was like, look, you're playing like on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's like I was getting like a 600, like that's in a week. And I was helping her and I'm like living with my mom at the time. But when I hit 23, things got real. And I had to start working. My mom passed away, my dad passed away. And then it was just me and my brother. And we were left with like, you know, bills and bro, like we just had to fend for ourselves type thing. And yeah, bro, I just started, I was doing baggage handling at the airport for ages, bro. And that was like, it was a great time because it taught me grind and grit and getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, all right, boom, got to get into it, crack a sweat. You're just chucking bags, you're loading bags, you're doing all of that. Yeah, that's great. At the same time, it taught me when there was downtime, I was in a room of like 60 grown men, you know what I'm saying? And you're like hearing the conversations and guys are having a dig with each other and they're like kind of like, it gave me like tough skin. So like now I'm doing social media and I see comments and I'm like, bruh, like I did years at Jetstar, cuz like, this is like, bro, like come for me, bro. Like please, bro. Cause it's like the internet's just the internet, bro. It's just words, cuz. But it's like when it's face to face and you're at, bro, like we was in the staff room at the airport and boys are like pulling boys apart and they're like, hey, relax, bro. Don't lose your job, bro. Relax. And boys are getting heated and I'm just sitting there like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's like, it's different, man. Yeah, it's a different experience. But yeah, that was the full-time gig for ages, bro. Like other than that, just little shit kicker jobs, bro. Like Kmart, worked there for like a week. Domino's, I was there for like a day. I was like, this is all like as a young teen. And then when I hit 23, then I'm like, okay, work at the airport. I was there for Yonkers, but I was always doing DJing on the side and I wasn't taking it serious. I knew I was kind of okay and I knew I was good, but yeah, I didn't have that full, it wasn't until COVID when everything chopped and then I was like, okay.
I sort of bring that up because I think it's like it makes success so much sweeter, right? And we're going to go into how successful you got, that 2020 explosion. I want to know all about that.
Crazy,
but I wanted to go back because I think it's like people that can talk about when they first started and they had to do it hard, it makes them so much more humble and so much more driven when they do get success. So you bring it up because, you know, when people blow up on social media, people go, well, he got gifted a card. But the reality is that's not fucking true. So you talked about your mum and your dad, and feel free to tell me that this is too far, but you know, you talked about how they passed away and then you had to sort of step up and be the man of the house with your brother and take on the bills. Do you mind sharing that stuff with me?
Yeah, of course, man. Bro, it was brutal. That was brutal. That was the lowest day. I was 13 when my dad died. Like the next week, it was like I was punching on. I started I'm like stealing things. I'm like hanging out late, not coming home, running the streets with my mate, just like running amok. It was ruthless. And then 15 came around, then DJing came. And then I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of all right. But I still like going a little bit crazy in the streets, but I'll come back to DJing. When 23 hit and when my mum passed, that was just, bro, I was boarding a plane to Thailand for my birthday. I jumped on the plane. I can talk about this, bro, it's okay. But I jumped on the plane and I'm there and they called my name over the speakers. And they're like, disembark now. There's been an emergency. We need, get off the plane. I'm like, my brother's me. And I jump up and then I get a call. And then my brother's there and he's like, get off. He's like, hey, are you off? Yeah, I'm off. He goes, I'll call you back. Boom. Hangs up, calls me back. He goes, bro. He's like, mum dropped. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, mum died, man. I was like, bro. It was brutal. That was one of the, that was a very, very traumatic thing that happened. But I remember my older brother, bro, like no matter what, like I pulled up at the house, the ambulance was there, they were taking her body, everything. And I remember he grabbed me and we were like nose to nose. And he was it was almost like he's psyching me up. Like he's like, no matter what, bro, he's like, I got you guys. He's like, are you ready for this? He's like, are you ready for this? And then he's like, don't worry, bro, don't worry. He's grabbed me, holding me. We're like crying and that. And and then we went in the room and then we saw her on the floor and it was crazy. It was screaming, all this stuff. Then they took her, everything. And then it was literally like 3 days later, it was like bills. And like, otherwise we're not going to live in this house anymore. Like, I'm like, oh shit. So everything got real very, very quick. And unfortunately, unfortunately, but fortunately, I listened to a lot of people around me where they're like, yeah, man, you just got to keep a job and you just got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, I still like DJing, man. Like why can't I just go hard at this? But yeah, and I didn't necessarily, I didn't listen for ages. So I didn't go hard at DJing until until 2020 COVID, bro. So yeah, it was very hard, man. It was putrid.
It's interesting to hear that, dude. And I actually have a similar story to that. And I literally went through the same thing. So hearing you kind of retell that brings it up to me too. And it's not fucking easy.
It's not,
and
bro.
It is what it is. It's like a rude awakening because the world doesn't stop for you. You just got to fucking keep moving on.
Nothing stops, cuz. It's crazy, bro.
And for you, right, you go into this DJ thing, it's a dream. You're working in the baggage center for Jetstar. It's looking probably likely at that time that this is your life, right?
Yeah.
2020 comes, or 2019-ish, whatever, you start to make some real fucking waves, right? You blow up online. Can you run me through like how and why you started to do things differently that brought you to where you are now?
Well, I got made redundant at Jetstar, bro, to be honest. They snipped everyone. And I was sitting at home for like 3 months, 4 months. I'm like, bro, what am I going to do? I'm like, DJing's cool, but my heart, I was falling out of love with it because it was just kind of, I felt like a jukebox playing in club to club every other weekend. It was like the same music. It was like, bro, like the love had been taken out of it. So I got to a point where, got made redundant, and then I kind of wanted to do DJing, but I'm sitting at home. I don't have a 9 to 5 now. And I'm like, bro, what am I going to do? And I went to a warehouse. I started working at just a shipping container yard, emptying shipping containers. And I was like, man, it was the lowest of low. You know, a job's a job, and respect to those that do. But I despised that place. I hated it completely. It was very toxic. It was like a lot of the boys that were there, the conversations that were there, the talking down, like the hierarchy, the bosses, how they were just, you know, like, did I tell you to eat? I didn't tell you to eat now. Don't eat. Go and put your foot away. Go keep on paying. And I was like, bro, like, I was burning when I was there, but I had to work because I had to provide for my family. And I got to it, but bro, I like almost snapped. I was there for 1 year and 22 days. I was counting every day that I was there. And I think halfway through, I started journaling on my lunch breaks. I just would go away from everyone, 45 minutes of the day. I sit there, I journal. I take Smoko and my full break together, and I just sit there and journal. And I would start to write down the things that I wanted to become. And I'm like, this cannot be, you know, my mom and dad died in their 50s. And I'm like sitting there like, bruh, have I got, like, I've already lived half my life if I've only got 25 years left. And so, yeah, I just started journaling. And I fell into one of those, this is how you make money online schemes. And I'm like, what is this? And so I went into it, and it was affiliate marketing. I started diving into that, and it was like a 6-month course, learning about social media and this, putting yourself out there. And I was like, okay. And then I did the course, and then I quit the job, and I went to a courier job. And I was like, oh, I'll be more free. I'm driving around. I'm doing my thing. And it was the same thing. It was like 6 months I was there. I was doing the same thing. But I had done this course. I finished the course, and my heart really wasn't into affiliate marketing, but I was like, yeah, it's cool. But I was like, yeah. So everything that I learned from the course, I took and I applied it to DJing. And I started putting myself online and talking to the camera, thinking of ideas on how to mix songs and do things. And I started seeing it blow up, started going crazy. And I'm like, oh shit, like, it's working. So from there, started getting some really big gigs. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, what if I just went all the way in? Like, what if I just if I'm going to give DJing the last red hot crack, I'll do it full, and I won't, you know, like, I'll do it fully, and I won't do any more 9 to 5 work. And so far it's been like, yeah, man, it's like 4 year, coming up on the 4th year now. Yeah.
Was that scary, bro? Like fucking
Yeah.
throwing in the towel and going, nah, fuck it. I'm not going to do 9 to 5 anymore. I'm going full into this music shit off the back of TikTok. Because at the time, you can't monetize off TikTok, right?
Bro.
You blew the fuck up and you were kind of like the first guy to do the whole stand there with a same sort of similar background, mixing in songs and this versus this. And everyone copied you afterwards, but you were kind of like the OG of that.
Yeah.
At that point, you were sort of like piling your own weight. No one's done that, right? Back in the day, you earned your stripes in a nightclub. You got your residencies because you built your way up through the roster. You've come into this new model that doesn't exist really to throw everything that you knew or had done, which was your stable income that was paying for you because you were fending for yourself. How was that?
It was unlearning. Like I had to unlearn how to survive off, okay, every Friday I'm getting paid this much, bang. It's like, I had to be like, this is not, and books helped me with that. Like that course that I did led me to books. And my older brother as well, he gave me a financial book. He's like, bro, read this. And so I started reading like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Psycho-Cybernetics, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And bro, I never read a book. I never cracked a book in my life. And then when I finished one, I was like, oh my God. I was like, if I want to know one thing about a tripod, I just read a book on a tripod and I know everything there is to know about a tripod. So when I was writing them, journaling, I wanted to change my life. And then I started seeking out those books where, how do you change your life? And it's unlearning what we were taught. It's like, well, you go to school and you get a really, really good job and then this. And now I'm like, no, it's not about that. Now I'd rather get paid for my brain, my ideas, than get paid for, hey, I worked for you for 1 hour today, so you pay me for the, it's like, bro, you're a slave to the time, So
it's 100%. It's like a fucking Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah.
You get taught your whole entire life that this is how it has to go. You swap hours for money and that there's no other way. And like, other people look at you and go, it's not safe to do it any other way.
Yeah.
But you've got full control when you're running yourself because you can work 24 hours if you want, or you can work 6. And the idea that the other way is normal is fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
Was there one video that sort of kicked off that you look back at and go, fuck, this is the moment that like things are really catching traction?
Yeah. Probably the first video that cracked, man, was five of the most overplayed songs in Sydney nightclubs. And I've done that video like 7 times since, and it's like, and it cracks because it's relevant. And it's like, people, social media, man, people thrive off negativity sometimes. They can, if the hook is, was it controversial? And they're like, they want to throw their 2 cents in the comments, and then the views go up, and then the comments are running up, and the shares are going up. So yeah, probably that video. And then it was more moments and opportunities that came my way, like playing at these festivals, traveling, going out of the country to play. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do now. Like I can do this full time now. So yeah, bro.
Can you run me through some of those wild gigs in those early days that you played that you were like, fuck yeah?
Surreal moments, yeah. Cause probably when I was in New Zealand, like first time going to New Zealand, I was like, whoa, that was crazy. Playing Promised Land, sold out. Sold out was like out of body experience, man. Like playing in front of it was like 19,000 or close to 30,000 people. And it was Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. I might be mixing both festivals together, but those moments was I was shaking. Like I was going out on stage and then pick up the mic and then ask people a question, call and ask people a question, call and response. And it was just, bro, it was crazy, bro. It's like not prepared. Well, prepared for it, but like, like you chase that feeling constantly as a DJ. You're forever chasing that feeling, bro.
The best term you used was earlier when you said surreal, right? So it's surreal.
Yeah, surreal.
When you have these opportunities and things start to flow in, and like things that you dreamt of and they come reality.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to deal with all the time.
No. Well, it's like manifesting is like, that's something that I believe in truly. It's like, if you can see it in your head, and then I've got vision boards, bro. I've got big vision boards at home. I just sit there, print out big pictures. I might edit the picture and put my face on that thing, and I'll be like, That's what I'm going for. And for years working, you know, baggage and hanging around certain people and, you know, people that being in environments that weren't reaching for anything, I was in those environments for so long. And I'm like, bruh, like, I can't be around this. So when I started hanging around other people that were goal striving and saying things to myself and manifesting and thinking in my mind, bro, I've got a beautiful mind, man. And I can make it happen. I can see it. Yeah, then I can achieve it and I can obtain it. All those things. 100%, bro.
When you're hanging around those circles, though, you like you talk about then, if you're in those positions where you're working at, say, Coles, whatever, then you start to work in these circles where you're traveling around, meeting people, promoters, fucking working at festivals, meeting other musicians. That's the thing. Like everything that people have in common is that they don't dream big. They think that everything's possible and everything's a reality. When you're around those people, it's fucking infectious.
Yeah. Talking
about those people, right? Is there some pinch yourself people that you've met along the journey where you're like, I can't believe I'm fucking with these people?
Yeah. Wait, oh man. Off the top of my head, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Like Central C. Bro, just like, man, being around Ziggy, for sure. Being around like my manager, Ziggy, for sure. Like he's just one person that has that type of mindset, man. And when you got two people buzzing at that same frequency and, you know, the vibrations and, you know, we're like, yo, man, we're going to go after this. Anything's possible, man. Don't worry about that. We'll find a way. Problem solve. It's like I found myself like I was in London and we're sitting at this booth and Glorilla. Like I was like mad. I'm still Glorilla fan. Like I rock with Glorilla. Like I like her music. And she was sitting behind me and I'm like we're just in London and she's just there and like her backup dancers like, hey, like this. And I'm like, Glorilla. And then bro, Central C, we was in Sydney and he's sitting at the radio and I'm just like asking him questions. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Damn, man. Off the top of my head. The Neo tour, meeting Neo. Like I was a teenager on Koori radio DJing his songs. And then I was like flying around the country, went to every major city in Australia and then Neo's there. And I'm just like, bro, like backstage. It's like, it's very weird, man. Like last night, bro, I got 2 free tickets to State of Origin. I asked my older brother, come with me, you know? And he was like driving there and he's like full, like sheds a tear. And I'm like, why are you crying, bro? Like, what are you doing? He's like, you've come so far. And I'm like, yeah, it's just a football game, bro. Like, he's like, nah, bro, like this is mad, bro. Like you're not, you know, you didn't hang around the same old bullshit and get caught up in it. So
it's an interesting, when I ask that question, you sort of have to stop, right? Because it comes so normal so quickly. You're talking about working as a courier and then you're talking about hanging out with Neo, who you listened to as a kid and meeting Central C, and you're sort of like, oh, is that iconic? And I think that's one of the things that happens in our industry. And that's why I love having guests sit down, because I have to make them reflect, right? Because even me, man, like I have these amazing moments and as I tell someone, I see their face light up, I'm like, oh, that's actually crazy, right? It's a fucking weird world. And it's so weird because when you live at that frequency and you start to, these things become normal, you forget. Getting free tickets to State of Origin for your brother, like that's fucking amazing. But to you, you're like, you start to become accustomed to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I don't want happening for real. If I'll be honest, that's the one thing I don't want to become. I think it was then complacency comes in and you get comfortable. I just don't ever, like I'll get comfortable. I'll pick my days of comfort. But yeah, there's most days, man. Yeah, it's like, okay, what's the next thing? Like always have goals. Always. Like I literally started with a list of goals and I ticked every single one of them. And I'm like, mad. And then that was like 2 years ago. So now I'm like, okay, then that was last year. Now there's this year. Like this year, I'm like, if I was journaling 3 years ago, now I'm like journaling. Like I'm taking photos and scrapbooking and putting it in. And then I'm reflecting on it. Like it's insane, bro. Yeah, it's crazy.
Some of this shit, right? You talk about how you travel to England, but I know you've gone overseas to LA a little bit.
Yeah, quite a bit.
How's it over there, man?
LA is cool, man, but I don't. DJing over there, I DJ'd over in New York, Syracuse, in Dallas, but I've got family in LA, and LA is cool. It's beautiful. I love that there's so many different. Like, bro, you go to poetry jams, you can go to like taco spots, food spots. just completely different areas, but where it's my partner, where she's staying, it's not very nice. It's like, bro, like it's
Fair
like,
bit of heat over there.
cuz like it's in the middle of, it's like right in the heart of South Central, and it's just rough, bro. Like I'm not walking around there. Like I'm not just like la-di-da. I'll just go up to the shops. I'm like, nah, I'm like drive quickly, boom, walk out, get in, get out. That's it, go. And then turn on the news, and then it's like someone got shot at that shop 8 minutes after I got home. I'm like, bruh, like I don't like it over there, man. Like I love it, but I kind of hate it at the same time because it's constant. You're just constantly like kind of looking over your shoulder in certain areas that you go. And here in Australia, it's like we don't even know how blessed we are because we're just walking around like, oh yeah, it's Bunnings.
Yeah,
Just go. It's like, nah, don't go to that Bunnings, bro. Like,
don't eat them sausages.
Yeah. but it's, yeah. I went to a taco store, and then old mate got out of his car and then walked into the taco stand. He's like, where you from? Do you gangbang? Woo, woo, woo. And I was like, nah, man. Like, I don't do that. And that was the first time in LA I got pressed, but it wasn't, it's just things that I see there. You see police helicopters constantly. You see people getting pulled over constantly. You drive down Figueroa and you see just like hundreds of women on every single corner, and they're like selling themselves. And it's just out like that. You know, it's like LA is a whole nother beast in itself, but it's a beautiful city.
It's an interesting thing because, like, I even myself, I didn't know you're half African until recently.
Yes, that is African American.
African American,
Yeah.
but I didn't know you're half African American until recently. And in Australia, I've seen people sort of comment that stuff to you about being white. When you're in America, do people know straight away that you're African American?
It depends, but a lot of the this lady, bro, like it's happened a billion times over there. The first time I was in San Francisco, I was walking down. It's like 2010. I'm walking there. I'm there with my sister, my niece. And I seen like big group of dudes, and they're all brothers. And I'm like looking, and I seen this one dude, his big afro, and he turns around and he looks like me. And I'm like, but he's got freckles all across his face. And he's like, what's up, dog? He's like, where you from, man? Yeah, I see you, brother. Oh, and he didn't say what's up, dog. He said, what's up with the N-word. And I'm like, hey. I'm like, how are you, man? I'm like, what's going on? He's like, oh man, you got an accent, dog. Yeah, oh, like this. It's like, yeah, which one of your parents is black? I'm like, oh, my dad. He's like, yeah, all right on, brother. Okay, be safe, dog. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, and that was my first time. 2010 was my first time going over there and really spending time. So coming back here is like, I do get mistaken a lot when I'm in indigenous communities and that. And they're like, oh, bro, like, because I've seen so many mixed Aboriginal kids, and they'll hit me and they're like, wow, you like, you know, like, are you part or this? But yeah, the States is, you think about it, man, there's like millions of black people over there. So then you can imagine how many mixed kids there are. So black African Americans, yeah, they'll see it. And then, yeah, white people sometimes in the States, not as much as the brothers though. But there's so many shades of black. That was my biggest realization when I was over there. It's the amount of the different shades of black that there are. Yeah, man.
So the virality stuff in the beginning obviously catapults your career, but you're not a one-trick pony. You continue to do it over and over again, and then you move in and you start doing these like fucking pop-up gigs in trains and buses and all this shit. Run me through the thought process, because again, no one had really done this shit, and you've been sort of like very creative in the sense that you continue to push that envelope, especially when it comes to hip-hop DJs, because traditionally they're, as you said earlier, like it's all about like the craft, you know, like you come on the scene and you just do this thing completely different and just change the shape of it from a social media standpoint. What makes you think about doing this stuff, and run me through some of those real viral moments?
I think DJing isn't, unfortunately, like it's not what it used to be as much. People are like scratching isn't as much appreciated, beat juggling, all of these things. But in terms of like me taking a different approach was TikTok, man. I'm seeing TikTok, you know, people are going off to the music, you know, they're going off to the remix, whatever it was. And so I can half decent scratch. So I was like, okay, I got skills there. And when the train idea kind of came up, I'm like, what if we did a set on a train? And that's me and Ziggy sitting there bouncing ideas off each other. And he goes, bro, a pop-up would be crazy. And I'm like, yeah, that's mad. So he goes, let's go to the train station and like, let's pop up. Like, that would be insane. That would be a viral moment. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we went and he just happened to pull up with the trolley. And so he tipped the trolley on the side and we had blue tack and it was like the first time, man, you fail miserably, but it's like you have to fail to like get better. So yeah, we set it up, we failed. The speaker wasn't loud enough. So then the next day I went home, walked to the shops, seen the trolleys all up and down the street, grabbed the trolley, asked my mate that does welding. He chopped off all the wheels, put some big wheels from Bunnings so I could get through mud and sand and all of this. I was like, all right, hectic. Then get a generator, big speaker, all of these things. And then I'm sitting there with Zig and he's like, bro, Fred again's going to be in Sydney tonight. I'm like, man, it's crazy. He's like, what if we went to the train station and DJ? I was like, man, nah. I was like, bro, the train? What if we were on the train? And he's like, bro, that's crazy. I'm like, bro, let's go. And I'm like, we're not allowed to, but like, I'm like, bro, seek forgiveness, not permission, bro. Like, we're not going to get anything in this world if we don't, you know? So we went and stormed the train, and the rest was, from that one, we've done multiple, like more. And I'm just finding that if the universe rewards bravery, like within reason, you know what I'm saying? Like respectfully, like when I say seek forgiveness, not permission, it's like, yeah, don't go and like steal someone's car and be like, oh, forgive me, you know? But like, I knew that would be something dope that Sydney kind of like needs, you know, in a way. It's a bit of a dry city after lockout laws and all of these things. And this next generation, I'm older, you know what I mean? So I'm coming from a generation of like, I remember when it was like still a bit wild and crazy. And so we jump on a train now, DJ, doing our thing. But yeah, that's, I think that was the question.
Was there any backlash on it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, bro, people are commenting and they're like, oh, why is this, oh man, what about the people going to work? What about this? And I'm like, bro, we're not jumping on public trains. Yes, it's a public train, but it's going to a concert. The other thing is, if it's out there on the street, there's always going to be negativity, bro.
Who gives a fuck anyway? Like, if it's like playing music, oh, damn, I penetrated someone's ear with good tunes. Yeah,
it's like, but yeah, I think that's an important part of it, man. It's not, like Sydney we're very passive here, man. We're very like we can just kind of sit there in an audience and just participate and clap our hands and be like, yeah. But when we're at the football, it's like, that's when we let loose. I'm like, no, like, let loose on the street, bro. Like, why, you know, like, we don't have to start fighting and things, but you can still vibe. And that's what I was exposed to in LA. That's what I'm exposed to in San Francisco, in Oakland. It's wild there. Like, people are, bro, you pull up at a traffic light in Oakland, they're getting out of the car, they jump on the hood of the car, and the car starts doing donuts, and there's a guy like holding on and he's just like shooting his gun in the air. Like, that's a bit extreme, but it's like that every single Saturday. Like, no matter what, they go to side shows, and it's like, that's what I was seeing when I was meeting with my family over there. My sisters lived there. I'm seeing a whole different freedom of people where I'm like, bro, Sydney is nothing like this. So being around that, being exposed to some dangerous environments in different cities in the States, then coming back here, bro, there's a walk in the park here, bro. It's like people are, oh, yeah, we'll just.
The music's designed to push boundaries, right?
Yeah.
And that sort of takes me to my last and final question, dude. So we've touched on it twice now, but the whole OG DJ thing where people like it's a mastery and rah, you've gone on to create this new sort of model that now people are emulating because it works, right? Where you're obviously still a music guy, you understand technique, but at the same time, you're pushing boundaries when it comes to online social media and whatnot. What's your take now from someone who's been doing this for so long on the old school way of model, DJ's a real DJ if they play vinyl, to what you're doing now, and their kind of outlook on how much has that changed?
In a huge way. I think the bar is super, super low to become a DJ. Anybody can be a DJ now. I think the skills of mastering it is still to be respected, and you really have to put in the yards, you know, like don't just DJ next Monday and start up a career and then you press sync and all the things did everything for you. But I think that it's changed immensely. But in good and bad. Like some people are getting booked, men and women, because they have a really nice physique and they're playing, and they're selling a show more than they're selling
An art.
Yeah, an art. At the same time, I refuse to be like one of them DJs that's just like, oh, I'm a purist, and you know, if it's not on turntables, like I don't want to listen to it. I'm better than that. You know, I'm a Michelangelo. You know, these DJs that jump on, you know, that go in public and create a spectacle of themselves, bro. They're clowns. Like, cuss, bro. It's like, go with the times, man. If you can make people dance and enjoy, like, you're doing your job. But at the same time, I think it's a double-edged sword.
I feel like you have stayed true to that, right? Like you are a guy who's pushing the boundaries when it comes to content and activations and pop-ups. And at the same time, you're pushing boundaries with music and genres and actually DJing. I feel like you're probably like a really good example of someone who can do it the old way, but the new way at the same time.
Yeah.
And bro, I want to say this before we end up the pod, but I want to say thank you so much, bro, for especially for Sydney coming through, but like hip hop DJs, you know, it wasn't that hard to break through in Australia, full stop. You're one of the first guys that did it really, really well, really, really properly, and using the new way of doing it. And because of the things that you've done, you've created a path for other DJs under you who get to change their lives, who may be working in factories, listening to this now, that now a career in hip hop is actually possible because you took those chances and you took those opportunities and you took that leap of faith. So thank you, thank you, brother, for fucking doing that and putting yourself out there, because it's a fucking real thing to do, man. And I appreciate your yarn, and thank you so much for sitting down with me,
thank you
and getting highs, lows, and ups and downs, dude.
100, bro. 100, man. Bless, man. Yeah, shout outs to all of them, man.
You're a legend, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.